Home affordability is an issue. Trust me, I get it. In this video, I'm going to show you a beautiful 540 square foot home for less than $45,000. Don't believe me? Stay tuned. All right, Matt the Mortgage Guy, residential mortgage broker, powered by you mortgaged, licensed in 48 states. Go to greatmortgagebroker.com, fill out the quick form if you want to connect with me and my team and get yourself pre-approved, get yourself on your way in your homeownership journey. In today's video, I'm talking about something that I personally think is pretty darn cool. If you haven't seen this yet, Home Depot has a prefabricated home for less than $45,000. Wait until I show you the pictures of it. It's beautiful. Is this the future of home ownership? We've already had a lot of talk, especially in my home state of California, about accessory dwelling units. Will this be the solve for the inventory that we so desperately need across the country, that we stick an accessory dwelling unit in the back of existing homes and lots? This could potentially be one way to solve not just the inventory that we need, but also affordability, right? Where people might not necessarily need 3,000 square feet or 2,000 square feet. If they can rent something or buy something that's smaller and more affordable, that might be it. So without further ado, I'm going to show you what I stumbled across. You give me your opinion. I'd love to hear comments, questions, concerns. What do you think about this? Do you think that it's something that's going to help the housing market, hurt the housing market? Would you ever live in one of these prefabbed homes? You let me know down in the comments. All right, here we go. If you go to Google and type in Home Depot prefab home, a lot of stuff's going to pull up. This one specific that's been getting a lot of attention is this getaway pad right here. Before I spoil it and tell you that you're not necessarily going to get the whole kit and caboodle for this price, you might have to spend a little bit more, add some stuff to it to get what you're seeing here. But look at this thing finished. They will deliver this steel frame. They will warranty this steel frame. What I had to learn by some digging is that all the accessories in here, this whole thing that we're seeing, isn't exactly what you get for $43,000. You kind of just get the frame, right? But look at how good looking this thing is with that spiral staircase. It's got a roof deck up top, and I'd be curious, obviously you got to do electrical, you got to do plumbing, you got to do all those things that cost money. Let's not kid ourselves there. If you want to put this thing in your backyard, you want to get it fully permitted, you want to have electrical, you want to have plumbing, you're going to put, recessed lights, whatever the heck else you're going to do in there, you're likely going to spend another $80,000, $60,000 minimum, right? So you're all in 100 or 120. In the whole scheme of things, in a lot of markets, especially in California, that's pretty much free, right? When you talk about buying an 1,100 square foot home in Santa Clara in Northern California for $1.2 million, the thought of, for a tenth of that price, being able to have something that's not only livable but looks nice inserted on a property sounds like a smoking deal. Maybe other parts of the country where $120,000 gets you the whole home, it might not sound as good. But in expensive markets, in the Seattles, in the Santa Claras, as expensive as Austin, Texas, and some other areas have gotten, this is not only a viable option, but probably a really good option. Steel frame. You probably got to pour your own concrete foundation. That's not cheap either. Yeah, steel frame only. There's the asterisk. There's the fine print. you're just getting the steel frame. You're not getting the fancy toilet. You're not getting the vanity. You're not getting, all these other things that come with it. But if you did add all this stuff, you'd have a good looking tiny home. So let me know what you think. There's plenty of other stuff to look at. It's not the only option, right? They've got the Seattle for only 16 grand, 200 square feet. The Bungalow Plus. A lot of people comparing this to the Sears catalogs of the 1940s, right? If nothing else, it's a pretty cool idea. And I would love to, maybe I'll have my buddy Dan Loesch from Loesch Construction on here, giving me the skinny on what the difference between building a ground up ADU and putting something like this in the backyard would be. If somebody could buy this and then hire him as a contractor to finish the build, I'd be curious to hear all of it. But there's a lot of buzz around this. Remember, 43 grand just gets you the frame. You're not going all in for 43,000 and having 540 square foot ADU in your backyard. But not just for people who are looking for a place to live or a place for a relative to live, but also investors up and down California that I've worked with. They've got an 8,000 square foot lot, 1,900 square foot home on it. They've put 300, 400, 600 square foot ADUs, separate entrance, standalone building. It essentially works as a rental property. And in these markets where you can rent 400 square feet for $2,000 a month, these things make sense from a financial perspective. The person who doesn't want to pay $3,500 rent for a home is happy to live in that thing for $2,000. So there's a lot of win-wins. There's a lot of scenarios where this minimalist style housing makes sense. A lot more of this to come, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.